Welcome to Tech Tuesday, where today we're going to be discussing the telescoping lance. Telescoping wands are something that's really commonly used in the spring and summer. You will see it used in the fall as well, typically for gutter cleanup, things of that nature. And what these lances offer you is an extension from the ground up to 24 feet in height. But these lances remove the need for other lance extensions of anywhere from 4 to 8 feet, and you don't have to be on a ladder to then use your pressure washer. These telescoping lances have pin locks, and so you can extend sections of the lance to reach the desired height. And so now we're going to open up the box, and I'm going to show you some of the contents as well as assembly and how to put on that belt that people have problems with. So when you receive your telescoping wand or telescoping lance, this is what it's going to look like. The MTM version is an aluminum style, and so it's much lighter than a lot of the competitors who use fiberglass. And you can tell that it's fiberglass because they're either black or they're going to be yellow often. But pretty much all of them will either have a pin lock style of extension, pin locks that can go in and out, or our competitors that have the twist style. And anytime you're twisting, just like everything else we do in pressure washing, a lot of times you're going to end up stripping the compression threads that are attached to the lance. So our lance is going to last longer because of the pin locks, which are replaceable. These can break if it's really cold out in the winter and it gets knocked around a lot, but also it's much lighter because of the aluminum construction. What you're going to notice with our telescoping lance, because of the aluminum lightweight design, is that it's a little bit more flexible. And so when it's under pressure, the weight is actually alleviated by the pressure holding the lance up. In your telescoping lance or telescoping wand setup, you're going to see a couple of instructions. One is for the belt, and the other is a parts breakdown. And within the box of the telescoping wand, there's minimal assembly, which is the nice part with these. Pretty much everything is assembled. The only part you're going to have to put on is the extension on the end, which we're going to do, and the plug for the inlet of your gun. With the pin locks in the up position, you want to attach your M22 fitting with this adapter. And this angled piece, the 15-degree bend, should be facing down with the pin locks in the up position. No need for Teflon. It's an M22, so there's already an O-ring that makes a watertight seal. So this can just be hand tight. In the box, you're going to see a 3/8 male QC plug. It does not have any joint compound or Teflon, and so we're going to apply some. You want about 5 to 6 wraps, and then we're going to install it at the gun inlet. Holding the fitting in your left hand, you want the Teflon to tighten against itself, wrapping clockwise. If you do the reverse, you're going to run into problems later, and the Teflon will bind if you do it backwards, which you don't want. The telescoping wand from MTM features the Cobra Jet hose, as well as a modified SG35 easy pull gun. For people who are cleaning for extended periods of time, you're definitely going to want that relaxed grip so that you can hold the trigger longer without any hand fatigue. With your telescoping lance kit, you're going to receive a belt, and the belt is meant to alleviate the amount of weight so you're not actually holding the lance while you're cleaning for minutes or hours at a time. This section is going to wrap around the lance with this buckle. And this is okay to be loose. It doesn't have to be super tight. That allows you to move this up and down this section. Once it's tight, loop it back just to secure it. And this buckle is going to connect to this receiver. So when you receive the belt, you're going to want the smooth side on your body, and so the buckles are going to wrap around. The big buckle is for the waist, and the smaller buckles are going to be for the shoulder strap. When you do put on the belt, you want it to sit up around your hips, not down low, because the weight distribution and where your arm is actually positioned with the lance is going to be relaxed. Once you have your belt on, you'll easily be able to clip in to hold the weight of the lance. Before you start up your machine, always make sure to do your extensions first. That limits the amount of time that your machine is idling. Anytime that your machine is idling and you're not having water pass through the line, it can heat up your pump and it will damage it. So always make sure to do all the work prior to starting your machine. For the pin locks, it's real easy. You just move out to your desired length and it draws the hose, as you can see. Now keep in mind, there's no catch. So it can fall out, which is fine. It'll pop right back in. And at the very last one, you'll see there's a hole that's only 3 inches. So I know from experience that if you go past this next hole, this whole lance portion will pop out. But as I said, you could just throw it right back in. That's all right. Next section. There we go. One thing to note about telescoping wands is that the advertised height that's on the box with ours is 24 feet, although the lance itself is 21 feet. That means that when it's connected to your hip, which is usually about 3 feet, you can reach 24 feet. The lance is not 24 feet. And that goes the same with competitors and some of our older models with 18 and 24 foot lances. It's always going to be about 3 feet shorter in length than what's advertised. And again, that's due to attaching to your hip and being off the ground. So I can reach 24 feet up. In order to initiate the cleaning process, a lot of people will apply chemical to the cleaning surface beforehand. So there's 2 ways to do that when you're reaching a really high area. One of those is with a foam cannon on the jet mode, and the other is to install a QC soap nozzle on the end of your telescoping wand, which activates your chem injector. Once you're ready to start cleaning and your soap or your chemical has had time to do some of the work for you, then you would start with either a turbo nozzle or just a standard QC nozzle. In this case, I'm going to be using a yellow, a 15 degree. You can use a 15 or a 25, is pretty common for this type of cleaning method. A really common setup for contractors is to have a ball valve right where the hose meets the gun. And that's so, in this case, I can only use a telescoping wand if I didn't have a ball valve. But now, while under pressure, I can close my ball valve, disconnect, throw on a different setup, and I'm up and running with pressure. A really easy way to still apply chemical is to turn your PF22 or your MTM foam cannon on jet mode and even use a snub kit, or maybe you have a 36-inch lance, and then you can apply your chemical. Then I can quickly close my ball valve, disconnect, and switch back over to my telescoping wand. Thank you for joining us today. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. If you have any additional questions, leave them in the comments below.